All right, Jay, the Stongo. All right, today has been one of those days. I know we all have those days. I I jumped in the car, got dressed and everything, and I forgot my glasses. That's why I've got my spare glasses on today. But that's how my day started out. And this is a really cool thing is the Reservation Dogs. How many of you guys watch Reservation Dogs? Okay, they had their finale last night at the casino, the tribal casino in Tulsa. So I was up late doing that. It was nice to meet everybody. I got to meet Lane Factor, Sterling Harjo, and some of the other people that were in the Reservation Dogs. So that was really cool to know that they're native. I went and shook their hands. I'm like, you guys are doing awesome, and stealing native pride back, because people don't realize our native humor is just awesome. It's funny. And so now that they've pulled in more people to think about our native people and some of our native ways. So anyway, I told Lane Factor Cheese, I was like, awesome, you did awesome. I mean, you can feel him genuinely his feelings in the Reservation Dogs, and he's Seminole, so I got to talk to him about that and his family. So we were talking about that. But anyway, it was a good night. It was just a long night, so I got up and was just rushing around. But here we are on our last week for Module 4, and we've gone through a lot. We've done so many things. Also, the one screen is kind of acting a little wonky today, so bear with me. I wrote some sentences, I just didn't get it to put it into a presentation because, like I said, the one screen decided it was going to be wonky, and I had to bring her back up 3 or 4 times. So from that, let's go ahead and let's sing our song. Let's get ready to think about Muskogee, being in the Muskogee mindset. All right, let me see. It's Jay, Christy, Nikki. I was wondering the same thing. And then want Res Dogs on DVD. Oh. So yes, last night was the last episode. So we got to preview it. Can't talk about it other than, let me just say, it's a good ending. It's a really good ending. It's not sad. Well, I guess it could be sad, but it's a good ending. It's a good ending. So they did awesome. And for them to encourage our native people to get into filmmaking and doing things that are normally not in our culture, but to share all of these new technologies and things to get our people involved. Awesome. I loved it. I just loved it. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and let's try to share the screen, and we will sing our song. Make sure it's over there. There we go. All right. All right. So everybody singing voices. All right, awesome. You guys doing awesome. I like that, and part of the song you can, I mean, the whole song you can hear the rhythm and just some of the inflections on his pronunciation. But that's one of that's one of the songs that I remember when I was a young person. That's one of the few songs I remember. And to actually see it written down and to know what I was singing way back then, it's awesome because we didn't know what we were singing. We were just singing from the Muskogee book. But so knowledge is power, and you guys now know all of this stuff. And that's one of the things, like I said, it gets me excited. So we've come a long way in module 4. So module 4, we have been studying, let's see, I think I got the wrong, I've got it right here. Module 4, we were studying future 1 tense. So future 1 tense, I am going to eat, like humbada, I am going to eat. So that's what we were studying in future, module 4, future 1 tense. And so we've come a long way from module 1, 2, and 3. Like I said, I think I've got pretty much all of module 1 squared away to where it's in order, and things are updated as much as I can update them. So, you know, you're welcome to go back and review everything. Modules 2, 3, and 4, they're still in the works. Sometimes I have it on my laptop, some of the files, and I didn't get to transfer all of them over to the Google Drive, but I will do that these next coming weeks, and try to get everybody situated and squared away. So if you want to print out module 1, it'll be in order, module 2, order, module 3, and module 4. So that's what I've been working on. Still, at the same time, I'm trying to make sure I keep ahead of all of the lessons, because you guys are learning so fast. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I need to keep learning. So you guys are pushing me as well as I'm pushing you. All right. So we're just going to review, because this is going to be the last week, and then I'll have a 2-week downtime. You'll have a 2-week downtime to go over things and refresh and stay active in your learning. I know Mvhayv Barnett is getting ready to. Oh, go ahead. Mvhayv Barnett is getting ready to. Or actually, she started her class this week. So, all right. So let me go over some of the Muskogee sounds. Like you hear Mvhayv Barnett talk about Muskogee sounds and Muskogee alphabet. So let's go over this, and I'll say it, and then you guys repeat, because not only do some of the speakers and myself have to refresh on our sounds and everything, you know, that's good to, if you lose the sound or lose the tone, just go back to the alphabet or the Muskogee sounds. All right, so ah, chi, I, e, b, he, a, ki, li, me, ni, o, p. It's got the PV sound, that's why I put both of them there. P, fee, or flee. Also, that one has 2 sounds that I hear. I hear different people speaking differently. The R sound, fee or flee. C, D, and that TD sound. I didn't put the D in there, but it's TD sound. And then ooh, we, ye. So those are our Muskogee sounds. You always hear about Mvhayv Barnett talking about the sounds, talking about the tones. I will refresh about ihi and ihi. And you can hear it more so when I present that, because Mvhayv Barnett is sounding it out, and you can hear the difference of if you say it one way, it means one thing. It's spelled exactly the same, but if you say it a different way, it means something else. All right. Well, welcome. All right. So also in class, class 2, I did put on here the alphabet song. So some of you guys know it and some of you don't, but so that is in our Google Drive. So if you guys want to get a song stuck in your head, that is the song to get stuck in your head when you're learning Muskogee. So these are, like I said, in week 6, class 2 of the Google Drive. I made some shortcuts for everything in here. And let's see. And this is what I was talking about earlier. For module 1, we started with the present tense, what we were doing now. So I'm just refreshing a lot of the things that we've already gone over. And we go back and forth because we have new people adding at different times. So I just wanted to keep everything straight. Module 1 was present tense, umbida, to eat. And the reason why I put the I in this example here is because there's sometimes when the I means I, and if you look at module 2, the V or the means I. But everything else, the second person's it's remains the same, and then the open and close parentheses, nothing there is third person, that remains the same all the way through the modules that we have already covered. So that's why the I is in red, because you can see, well, this time on these rules, the I is I, and module 2, the is I. Right? Okay. Negotiating the okay. Jimmy, I says I'm having a hard time negotiating the Google Drive. All right, so like I stated earlier, I am pulling things and changing things around in modules 2, 3, and 4. Module 1 is pretty much set. So that might be an issue that, I'm doing something while you're trying to access it. I don't know. What kind of issues are you having with the Google Drive? And that might
I don't know. It's like I don't know the Google Drive well enough. Every time I try to put your name in there, it says I can't find you. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
And I'm if I get into like one of your modules, getting back out of it, every time I punch something, it seems like it rearranges things. And it's like I get confused with it because try to get back to, okay, you're going back to module 2 and we were in module 4.
Right.
I can't get there fast enough.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just I'm using my little bitty handheld phone here, but I've got you on my laptop with the class, but I'm trying to look at my drive on my phone.
Okay.
So
I know.
I just don't know it well enough to get, and you'll you'll get through it and past it by the time I get close to finding where you're at.
Okay.
It's all on my end. I just got to learn better. I just can't keep up at the moment.
I know things, on your phone react differently, than on a computer. So that might be the issue. I also know that Google has its quirks. And until you run into the quirk, you don't realize that there's an issue. But sometimes Google, like in classroom, I'll put something 30 minutes, 15 minutes before class into Google Drive. And then when I hit the one screen, it's not there. So it's not all you, sometimes it's Google. Sometimes it's not only your phone, but it's Google. Sometimes, like I said, I work on some of our lessons, put it in there, and then when I try to teach, then it's not on the one screen. So with computers, they've got, Google has so many servers. So at any given time, we may not be looking at the same server. Because say they have 10 servers for Oklahoma region. I'm teaching out of server 1, and then when you get in there, everything's full on server 1, so it'll knock you to server 5. That's just how computers work. I know a little bit. I have a little bit of a knowledge about that. So don't worry about it. Just keep trying.
Okay.
It
finally came up for me, but it's not. Like I said, it's you're already past it by the time I got to it. So, but anyway, that's all right. I'll figure it out.
All right. Well, like I said, it may not all be you because I know it messes up when we're trying to teach as well. All right. So like I said, module 1, we did present tense, umbeda, to eat. You see the I because we are using an I. So I for I, it's is you, and nothing was he, she, they, or it. I forgot to put that on my notes here, so I'll go back and redo that. So from umbeda, to eat, you see right here, umbes, umbes. And that is our conjugated sentence for present tense. So the literal translation is eating, I am. The English translation is I am eating. All right. And you hear people always talk about, oh, Muskogee's backwards. Well, I can say that our Muskogee language has been here before discovery, should I say. So we've always been here, so we've always been speaking this language for thousands and thousands of years. So I don't like the term, oh, it's backwards. I mean, because if you look at from our ancestors' point of view, when people were coming and they, started learning English, they probably thought, oh, well, English is backwards. So I don't see it as backwards, but like I said, the literal translation is eating, I am, and, flip it around, it says, I am eating. All right, module 2, present tense negation, that's what we studied. So again, my favorite word, humbeda, to eat. You see that in red is the V, because when we conjugated in this module, the V stood for I. It's still you, and then open and close parentheses is she, he, it, or they. And right here, negation, like I said, present tense negation, os. Eating, I not am, that's the literal translation. And the English translation in blue is I am not eating. I am not eating. And like I said, these templates are in the Google Drive. And like I said, I'm touching some of the things up because there's some things where I had used the same template and there's just a couple of words that need editing. All right, module 3, we had learned future 1 tense negation. So humbeda, again, to eat. You see the or the V equals I in these conjugation. It's still you. Open and close parentheses is she, he, it, or they. So from humbeda, to eat, humbahane kotos. It says eat, going to, I not am. And then the blue in English, I am not going to eat. All right. And then here in module 4, future 1 tense, since we were not doing things last module, we are doing things this module, future 1 tense, humbeda, to eat. The I is in red because in this conjugation, I means I, it's is you again, and open and close parentheses is she, he, it, or they. Like I said, I will add those on my notes and it will be updated. So humbahanes, humbahanes, eat, going to, I am going to eat. All right, so you can see our journey so far this year. Module 1, I am eating. Module 2, I am not eating. Module 3, I am not going to eat. And module 4, I am going to eat. So these are all the things that we've learned how to conjugate for this year. So I'm just going to give you mache. So we're learning a lot. And those of you who joined us after the fact, like I said, I'm going through there and I'm trying to clean everything up, add my notes, and just edit everything so it'll be easier for you to catch up with us. And if you need for me to go back and review something, I can go back and review something and we can go over it again. All right, so when we were talking about the tones right here on Muskogee sounds, and we went through the alphabet, those, if you lose the sound, just go back to this alphabet and find the sounds that you lost. I know right now we are working on a master website with the sounds. You hear the 2-letter sounds and the 3-letter sounds. Those will be on the master website. It's just not complete yet. So that'll be another thing that you have in your language toolbox to refresh. I try to put as much out here as I can. Like I said, I got the alphabet over here. So that helps you remember the sounds and the song. So like I said, get it stuck in your head. All right. I know some of you guys were with me when we covered this before. The tones and sounds make a difference. So, do you have a start date for your next class? I don't have an exact date yet, but it's usually 2 weeks out. So next week will be off, the following week will be off. And then the week after that, we should start. But there's a lot of things going on right now and things may change. It usually is in Facebook, Instagram, that I've seen updates, and there might be other places. I know the Ann Townsend from the At Large Citizens, a lot of times she posts our stuff. You can also call up to the office if you don't see anything, and they will help you to see the correct dates for the correct starting times. We are in the process, the whole building is in the process of moving buildings. That might put a little damper into times, we're not sure. They are revising everything, so there's a lot of unknowns right now, but tentatively about 2 weeks out, next week off, following week off, and then the third week we'll start again, but I don't have an exact date yet. All right, so tones and sounds make a difference. When I put all these things together, I always think of visual because I'm a visual person. So you're thinking about the different tones and sounds. That's why you have the different colors and the different hues of the same color. That's the same thing with sounds and tones. All right. So I put that up at the top. Okay, so one of the things that we have covered is ihi. This is husband. How do you differentiate husband from yes? Ihi. So besides situational environment, they look exactly the same. And that's where sounds and tones come into play as far as, how you know what you're talking about. But again, situational environment, if you're talking about ihi or ihi, two different sounds, then usually if you're talking to somebody about their family, you're talking about somebody's husband. If you're saying, do you want some water? And you say ihi, and you say it the wrong way, they know you're saying yes, because you're not going to say husband. Do you want some water? Husband. So like I said, situational environment, if you can't differentiate somebody's tone for the correct word. And this is one of the things I had asked Mvhayv Barnett about, because we're trying to teach you the correct way. Some of our speakers, some of these people who, let me just give you an example. Okay, if you go south, if you go to southern United States, they sound different. And sometimes they don't pronounce things like we are used to hearing. And sometimes they're more of a slur, but you kind of know what they're talking about. That's kind of the same thing with our speakers. Sometimes you have somebody who speaks clear and crisp, and some of them, they just kind of slur, and sometimes just kind of each word kind of hangs on to another word. So I never tell our speakers, you're wrong. But since we're learning the correct sounds and tones, just like us, when we say some things, we don't say it exact grammar correctly, but we understand what each other's talking about. We know what we're talking about. All right. Okay. So
Ehe. Husband.
So ehe. So if you look under this, it's he, ehe. That's for husband. So if they didn't have, or you didn't hear the correct inflections and tones, that's what it's supposed to, that's what it looks like if it's written. I put the two short sounds on there so you would know the difference. It's not always written like that. There are some places that write the long and the short on top of the e's or the inflections, but just for teaching purposes, I'm trying to show you the difference. So I put the short sounds on there. Like I said, there's literature that has it like this, and there's a lot of literature that does not. And if you don't know how it's pronounced or spoken, you just kind of have to guess, because there's no definite on this is always a long E sound or this is always a short E sound. Just like I give the word ifa, which is EFV or EFA, ifa. You can say ifa, like I learned, or Eva. And I will put that on PowerPoint because that'll actually show you what I'm talking about, because I know a lot of us are visual. But this is the sound for the for husband. Let's see.
Ehe. Husband.
Ehe. All right. So that's how you know, and this is the long sound.
Ihi for yes.
Ehe. All right. So you got the E, he, E. Ehe for yes. And I remember hearing my aunts when they were speaking Muskogee, ehe, and they would, I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. And since I wasn't taught our language at a young age, I just thought they were grunting and groaning, you know, like some of us do when we get out of the chair. Oh, you know, I thought they were doing that, but now I know that they were words. I wish I knew this when I was younger.
Ili dead.
So Eli, Eli, dead. You don't want to talk about, you know, use this for somebody's foot and then say it the wrong way and say dead.
Ili for the foot or leg.
Eli.
Love.
Ili dead. Ili for the foot or leg.
She should be there. She was just there.
So you've got Eli. If you can't capture that sound, I know a lot of times, and we
Okay. I'll,
talked about this, but
that's her.
you can sit there and you can go back to your Muskogee sounds and just write it out in the Muskogee sounds. Ele. So that helps you to capture those sounds. So his or her, leg or foot. Does anybody have any questions on this before we get out of here?
Ili dead. Ili for the foot or leg. Ili, ihi for yes. Ihi, husband. Ihi for yes. Ihi, husband.
All right, so those are our tones and sounds, and that's why when I made this up, I was like, okay, I'm trying to, and I'll add more to this because we have to be constantly reminded that, you know, tones and sounds do make a difference and they can change things. So once I get some more sounds that are similar like this or written the same way, then I will add that to our toolbox of knowledge. All right. So let's see. All right, so I know we had done some sentences, and some of these are the same sentences. But let's go ahead and okay. So I know can anybody read that sentence first of all? You can unmute and just read it. These are going with our vocabulary words. All right.
Istiwanaya no ja. Oh. Wait, Istiwanaya no jan ikorot.
All right. Istiwanaya no Johani Kotos. You kind of went over the Han, but you got it. You got it. Istiwanaya no Johani Kotos. Yes, good job. Good job. I know looking at this without the breakdown or even looking at it without having shown our conjugation, it gets kind of hard to speak, but we're doing really good. We're all doing really good because it's talking about policeman is not going to sleep. A policeman is not going to sleep. No, the policeman is not going to sleep. All right. So on the same sentence, which are we first, second, or third person? First, second, or third person? All right. Okay, so let me give you a little tip here. No Johane Godos. Estuanaya. So right now, if we were talking about sleep, you know, it would have the I or the which is the I or the V.
Yeah.
It
Third
doesn't
person.
Be third.
third person, right? So it doesn't have the I or the V in no Johannikos. So, and it doesn't have the it's. Remember, it's is second person, I or it's, and then nothing. This one has no person marker. So no person marker, remember that means that it's third person. And right now, with this sentence, istiwanaya. Yeah, that's policeman. For some reason, I got a blank there for a second. But it's talking about third person. It can be she, he, it, or they. Instead of putting she, he, it, or they, we put a person, a policeman. A policeman is not sleeping. So instead of just so instead of this, we can put she, he, it, or they. They are not sleeping, he is not sleeping, it is not sleeping, they are not sleeping. But since, and right here is where your person marker would be, since there's nothing that would be represented by that. But since we are talking about somebody is doing something, which is policeman. The policeman. Then we're not using any of these. So actually, this fulfills this blank.
Didn't know you.
All right, so does that make sense?
You unmuted.
Oh,
Yeah. So does that make sense? So that's how we get the policeman, is because it's fulfilling that blank of she, he, it, or they. All right, so and if you think about it, you couldn't have hold on. You couldn't have just a second. Right here, third person is when you can add somebody. You can put the policeman, the teacher, let's see, is not sleeping, the baby. So for a third person, you can add a teacher, a baby, a policeman. You can add a person, the nurse, the secretary is not sleeping. But if you think about the same word here, because if you add the V or the, let's see, the V or the I, those usually mean I. So you're already talking about I. And then right here, if you have the it's, it's, then you're talking about you. So you can't say I, well, I guess you could. I, the policeman is not sleeping, or you, the policeman is not sleeping, but that would be kind of like, usually you're talking about I am eating, or you are eating, but third person, you can add the policeman, the teacher, the baby. You can add a person. All right. Did that come out correctly? Did you guys understand? All right. So from what I understand, the third person, you can add a specific person or add more to it. Otherwise, you're always talking about I, it's you. And then third person, that's when you can add specific people, the Mvhayv, the policeman, the student. Right. Okay, so. All right. I know this one has a few different examples. I know it looks, look at it. To me, it's like, oh my gosh. What is it saying? But just sit there and just pick at it, get the clues, get the example, at the example, get the clue. Like right here, if you think about things, let me put annotate on here. If you think about things, first of all, it's overwhelming. I know, because it looks long, it looks huge. But if you just think about how we conjugated, let's see, means to eat. Number is going to. Who are we talking about? You. Remember what that part means? Not. All right, second person. Awesome. Second person. And then this, remember, am, are, is. All right. Talak Jati. Does anyone remember what Talak Jati is? Talak Jati. All right. Right. Red beans. Because this is beans. And there's red. Red beans. So red beans, you are not going to eat. Remember? Red beans, you are not going to eat. All right. So talak jati humahanetski for os. Red beans you are not going to eat. All right. And let's see. Let's look at this one. Humahanetski for os. All right. Does anybody know what person marker this one is? Anybody? Okay, third person. Right, because right here would be the person marker. And since there's no person marker, that means it's third person. Okay, aloso. That is rice. Remember my favorite word, humbida, to eat. So it would just be eat. Remember, going to. Third person is right here, because there's nothing there. And remember, okay, right here. Remember, right here is not, that's the subject marker. And then os, am, are, is. Rice, going to, and then she is not, rice going to, she is not eating, rice going to, he is not eating, rice going to, they are not eating, rice going to, it is not eating. All right, so that's where we see how what we've learned, how it affects the sentence that we've conjugated. I have to keep remembering to take these things off when I try to move it up. But that's okay, let's see. Yeah, these all here's one. Let's see. Like I said, I was trying to make sure that one screen worked today, but she was a little cranky, so I didn't get to finish typing everything up that I was going to type. This one. Can anybody tell me what person marker is there and what person that the sentence is?
First person singular.
First person. All right. And how do we know it's first person?
The
All right. Awesome. Okay. So asi nezehanekot os. T E A T. See. Oh, it's buying. Buying. Nezida, to buy. Going to. I not am. I am not going to buy tea. All right. Does that start making sense?
would a first person plural be usi nisahaniyuka? Or would it be something else?
I think it would be something else, but I haven't gotten there yet in my learning, so I can't show you what I don't know. But I think it'll be something else because there's several different ways to make something plural. You can't just add the S or, so that's a good question. One of these days I will understand more to show you that, but right now, so that's okay. Like I said, I'm learning, we're all learning, but I don't think it would be the same. I can ask about that. That's a good question.
but it would be Nisa Hani coat, if I'm right, which I may not be. So
I'm not, you said plural for,
for we, like
okay, yeah, yeah. No, we're just doing, first, second, and third. He, she, it, or they, we're not doing we yet. We're not to that lesson yet. All right. Okay, so, like I said, I'm still learning and I haven't quite learned all of the stuff that I want to learn, but, that's a good question, and I know there's an answer out there. I just don't have that answer for you right now. Okay, so I've got some new sentences. Like I said, I wasn't able to type them out, so I will have to write it out for you. Let's see. But if you have that question, you can always call the main office and ask them. If you know, there's something you need to know. Mvhayv Barnett is available. You've got some of the other speakers, Mvhayv Gracine, Mvhayv Philip, Mvhayv Stephen, Mvhayv Carolyn, and Mvhayv Eli. So if it's a burning question, just call the main office and somebody will be able to help you on that one.
well, it looks like it would be Nisa Hani goat, but instead of a nigot, it would be an e or e, but it would be a long e instead of a short e. So it looks like from the Martin grammar book.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, some of the things, how I've learned it and how the Martin book, they're not exactly the same. And some of the things that some of the speakers have said compared to some of our reference are not exactly in line. So I would ask a speaker because Martin, I don't think he's native. I think he was here actually a couple of weeks ago. He was walking through because he was at the College of Muskogee Nation. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that that's a different way of doing some things. Yeah, Martin is not perfect. Nobody's perfect. I'm just gonna put it like that. Nobody's perfect. But when I try to teach, I always ask our speakers, is this correct or am I teaching correct? Like I said, we've seen some different ways of the speakers knowing some things and the dictionary knowing some things, and that sometimes they don't always align, but it's a good reference. All right, so Istiwanaya Litgahanis. Does anybody know what the sentence is saying? All right, Istiwanaya. Remember, it's the policeman.
The policeman is going to run.
Right, exactly. The policeman is going to run. All right. So this is our verb stem. To run. And then you've got going to, and remember S or ES is am, are, and is. The policeman is going to run. All right, awesome, good job. Like I said, I was trying to use not only module 4, but module 1, 2, 3, and 4 to try to keep you guys on your toes. All right, so that's awesome. Did any of those techniques I showed you guys help Nikki when you were trying to figure out what it said?
I kind of just look at the person marker first. I have the Han memorized. I have a lot of stuff memorized.
Hey, A+ student there. Good job. I know, I know a lot of us, we go through and we practice and we write things down, just however we can remember it. That's how I tell you to just keep practicing. I know one of the techniques that people say is flashcards, and you know, your little 3x5 flashcards. I've done that technique as well. Yeah, the plus. So however you can remember, if you can remember writing it down, or if you have to do all of them, do it that way, because you know, ultimately you're only competing against yourself. Oops. Because I'm all excited how far I've come in just these few months working with the Muskogee language program. And I can see it in you guys. You guys are doing awesome, and you guys are like just blazing through everything. Yeah, he's keeping me on my toes. Okay. All right. Can anybody let me know which person marker this is? Okay, third person. All right, third person. And the reason we know that it is third person is because there's no person marker here. And plus, remember, this will be inserted instead of she, he, it, or they. It's Mvhayv. So that's another way, like I said, to remember. So the teacher
Is not working.
is not going to work. Yeah, good job. Yeah, like I said, I was thinking about, what I was thinking about was the all these strikes that are going on. You know, I was thinking about the actors, the writers, and then, the car makers. I was like, well, shoot, I'll just put that on there. Not that we're going to strike. I just was thinking about current times. All right. Okay. To work on Ahan is going to and not. Okay, and then remember, this is am, are, is. The teacher is not going to work. Good job. Wow, you guys are so fast. You guys are keeping me on my toes and keeping me asking questions, which is good. This is good because you guys are helping me learn. And then I feel really good when I share all of these little things with you guys, because I wish there was more interaction when I was learning, so we could do all of these things. But at the time I didn't know anything, and if you don't know anything, you don't know what questions to ask, and you got to start somewhere. All right. When one teaches to learn. All right, yeah. Exactly. When one teaches to learn. So I'm multitasking. Multitasking. And I told somebody before, I'm like, women multitask. I think it was my husband. Because you think about, because he's like, how do you guys do this stuff? And I said, well, if you think about it, when a woman has a child, you got to think about, oh, I got to grab the bottle, I got to grab the diapers, I got to grab the wipies, got to grab, change of clothes, got to grab some snacks. So you're sitting there thinking of all of these things that you got to do. And then you try to even multitask even further. And you're like, okay, well, while I'm taking baby to childcare, after I drop baby off, I got to go pick up the laundry, and I got to go do this, got to go to work, So it's all of multitasking. I think that's just in our culture. All right. So does anybody know what this one says? Okay, Weewa.
You are not drinking water. You.
Okay. You. All right. So, you want to revise your guess? There we go. I'm gonna learn how to spell right. Okay, I am not drinking water. All right, let's get up. To drink, because that's our, remember, this is how we conjugated everything, you know. I am not drinking water. And then this one means I not. Remember, am, are, is. So I am not drinking water. All right. Good job. Good job. And remember, you know, right here in this conjugation, means I. It's means you. All right. Good job. I think I have one, maybe two more. And like I said, I'm trying to use all of the words that we've already learned. So, you know, just on this 2-week break, just, you know, just go through it and read it once. And just try to keep on top of everything, because just like kids in school for the summer, you're going to come back and you're like, dang, I don't know what I was learning. So just try to stay on top of it, just refresh a little bit, you know, at least 1 or 2 times. All right. Does anybody know what that says? And that's like in. Okay. So first of all, let me ask, is it first, second, or third person? Third person.
Second.
All right.
Oh, third.
Third, yes. Remember, second,
Is
it's.
that crying?
Yes, crying. And this, the student is not going to cry. And the reason I put that one out is I had told my husband, I'm like, I'd come home and I was like, there's just so much. I was learning Muskogee, but I don't even remember what we talked about. And I just like, not really cry, but just kind of like, and just kind of like, I don't even, you know, just not, like I said, not, when I came home, it wasn't really crying. It was just kind of moaning and whining and, you know, you're just like, oh, I don't even know what I learned. I don't remember. What's my name? What day is it? It's like you just get too overwhelmed. So almost daily after work, after school, because it was an hour class, I'd be like, what the heck did I just leave? So I was constantly moaning and whining. And then afterwards, you sit down and relax and let it soak in. Go take a shower, go grab something to eat, go walk, go do something, come back a couple hours later, and you're like, it remembers, you know, your mind remembers, oh yeah, this is what we learned. So I think more of this, the student is not going to cry, that was me, but it's like you have to take it in little steps because it's overwhelming in the beginning. All right, student. And okay, I didn't write that down. Agikita is to cry. Ahan, I'm going to. And then equal, not, subject marker, os, am, are, is. The student is not going to cry. All right, and of course that was me. I didn't say anything about whining. We can whine, but just not cry. All right, I'm just kidding. All right, so you guys are doing good. You guys are doing good. Like I said, when you sit there and you conjugate, if it's not on the same paper and you just see this, that's really intimidating. Just sit there and, you know, breathe for a second. Try to look at, this is what you try to look at, your verb stem. So if you can look at the verb stem and you know it's at the beginning here, right here, what, beginning here. And then you look at your infinitive verb, infinitive verbs. Then you try to match up, okay, what is this saying? What is this saying? And then the next thing, ahan, we know ahan right here means going to. So if you have to piecemeal, what you're reading or what you're saying, this is the way to do it. And remember, it's for not is what? Go or equal. And right here we did equal. And why did we do equal? Because this right here is not a vowel. All right. If this right here was a vowel, then we would add only go. Because if there's no vowel, we add a vowel. If there's already a vowel, you do not add a vowel. All right. And then your subject marker T and their auxiliary verb os, which means am, are, is, and the period. I kept getting marked off for that in class. She's like, everything's good, Desiree, but you forgot the period. So if you see some of my notes, I get a little, I make the period really big and like that. It's like I showed her, this is the period. And sometimes in my notes, I get a little, I revert back to being in school and I put a big old period. So, font is 12 and the period is 30. So you know that there's a period there. All right, the student is not going to cry. Okay, and I have one more. You guys are doing good. You guys are doing awesome. And the cool thing is these are things that we've already learned. And you get to see it actual in play of a sentence. And I know some of us are a little further than others, but I'm sure you probably learned something, in all of our teachings. Even if it's just something as easy as one of our new vocabulary words. Because we've got to know how to say something in order to have a conversation. If we don't know Mado, thank you, then how are we going to tell somebody thank you? All right, Tadahaga Hayas. Does anybody know what that one says?
It's first person.
Yes, good job. First
Making
person. Tadahaga Hayas. I am making. Good job. Good job. Desayada, to make. All right. Nikki says she likes doing these. Yay. Well, I like doing this because it puts into the full context of what we've learned. And then we add the vocabulary words. So it's enforcing the vocabulary words and the conjugation. And then once I learned it, because I'm still learning, like I said, and once I learn the proper way to do a sentence, I kind of know, but then sometimes when I think I know something, I go to Mvhayv Barnett and I'm, hey, this is how this goes. And she goes, yes, sometimes. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like when we talk in class, like Okchanwa Asinwayas, I thought, oh, so I can say Asinwayas to pass me the salt. I can say, oh, Palakna Asinwayas, which is pass me the plate. And she said, no. And I was like, I thought I got it. She goes, it's passing food around the table. It's like a plate is not a food. Okay. And then what she explained to me on that one was you hand somebody, not pass them food, but you hand them the plate. So some of the things, like I said, I think I'm like, yeah, I got it. And then I'm like, no. Yes, once you get the sentence structure, you can add to the vocabulary. All right. So like I said, we have done 4 different types of conjugation. So you can see how to conjugate. And now the easy way is like this one. You just you drop, which is to make. So, I didn't learn this until I got here, but you drop your ETV, which we do, and then you just add. So there's your verb stem, and you add is. And that's cool and everything, and you can do it that way. But the way that I showed you, the long math, the long conjugation is, that this means to make, this means I, and this means am, are, is. I am making Chattahooga. So yes, you can do it, you know, just take this off, but now you know what this means, and you know what this means along with this. So yes, can we learn how to speak? Just, you know, taking the ETV and add the IS, yes. But now we know a little bit in depth of why it says this and why it means that, because you know what the breakdown is. All right. Awesome. Looks like we've already made it to 1 o'clock. Does anybody have any questions before I log off here? All right, so I will see you in about 2 weeks. Like I said, it should be posted somewhere on Instagram or Facebook. But like I said, I show you the way I remember. There may be, and I know there's other Mvhayvs that do it a little bit different. And like I said, pronunciations are different, spellings are different. So I'm not going to say one way is better than the other. This is the way I know. This is the way I can show you guys, because I can't show you something I don't know. And if it doesn't make sense to me, I don't want to present it to you guys, because I can't even try. All right, Mado, and I will say Hadam Tihichagah, please. And I will see you guys in a couple of weeks. Don't forget, just try to study and to keep freshening up. Okay, go ahead, Nikki.
Sorry, I think that Chris is going to make potato stew for Friday.
Okay. All right, I will put that out there. I will reach out to her and send out her email. All right, Mado, thank you, Christy. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Nikki. Let's see. Thank you, Jimmy. All right. Thank everybody. Thank you, Thor. Thank you, Hopi, which is me. Thank you for coming. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Mado.